Good morning. Good morning. Today we're talking about how you can have a better social media experience. Actually, a better online experience. Before we get into that, welcome to the Casual Podcast with your boy Brian, the Casual Brian, keeping it casual every day, 365, 24/7. Casual Podcast is brought to you by the Casual Brand Clothing. Check us out. We got a wonderful line of clothes. Winter's almost over, but there's still time for you to get that fresh hoodie in, fresh long sleeves. We got lots of clothes for you to check out to stay dope. We're coming to you live from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And again, we will only be dropping podcasts that feature guests for the immediate future. Um, just trying to open up some schedule. Like I said, though, we're talking again. I already talked last week or 2 days ago about social media, and we're just going to keep that conversation going, um, because I think it's an important conversation to be had. So what do I mean by having a happier and healthier hello, needed to turn that off. What do I mean by having a happier and healthier social media experience? Well, I think that some people, so for me, I don't think of social media as a toxic place or a bad or good or a bad place. I just think of and if we want to get crazier, I don't think of social media. I think of the internet. And there are platforms that people use on the internet. So here's a way of thinking about it. Is YouTube a part of social media? I would 100% argue it is. Just like email is a part of social media. Um, Texting is weird because it is and it isn't. You know what I mean? Like when you start getting into text threads, I think that changes, that shifts from person to person communication to a social media type style. You know what I mean? Like because you're doing so much on the text thread. You're sharing videos, you're sharing memes, you're sharing gifts, and a lot of this stuff is now being built in to the actual text. I mean, like I said, I stand by this. I don't fully know the answer, but I believe that if someone is able to really make a version that is essentially text, you're like to copy your text threads, and they've tried it before. Instagram, at least Instagram ads with threads, and it didn't work, you know. But yeah, it's just I think WhatsApp is essentially it, but I just think that it could be done better. Um, I don't know why. Maybe there's too many people. Anyway, so I my understanding of social media is not Instagram or Facebook, it's the internet. And that's what I want to talk about, and that's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit more. um it's just how you can have a better online experience, you know. But we are going to be looking at it mostly through the lens of interacting on what is traditionally considered social media platforms, i.e. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and all that stuff. So one of the biggest things that I like to tell people that they can do, um, that makes everyone's life better, is when you're watching something, like it, like straight away. This is more applicable to longer videos, but I think it also applies to um, you Instagram and shorter videos as well. As soon as you see something, like it. So I'm gonna so do this with me. When you think about all the content that you've seen, well, pick a platform: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Think about all the videos you've seen in like one day. Now think about how many of those videos you actually liked. I mean, like you tapped it, you clicked it, click the like button, double tap, whatever it requires that you actually liked of all the videos you see in one day. Now let's take it a step further. Out of all the videos you actually liked, you know what I mean? Like it either made you laugh or you thought this is cool. How many of those videos did you actually like? Because I guarantee it wasn't all of them. So you have stuff that you like, but you're not supporting, because when you don't like something, you're not supporting it. And it's free support. I tell people this all the time. Liking a video doesn't cost anything, but it gives so much. It encourages the content creator. It lets Instagram know, or whatever platform know, hey, this is something that people like. So it's a form of currency. Your interaction, your engagement with content is a form of currency that is free for you to give, and you have limitless amounts. I mean, your limit is your time, but anything you like, I always tell people to like straight away. And why do I say like straight away? Because sometimes I used to find myself watching a video, liking it. This is mostly on YouTube, but it happens in other things too. Um, Liking a video, and then the video ends and I didn't like it. And now if I want to, I have to go back in, which I used to sometimes do, sometimes I wouldn't. Instagram, same thing. You're watching a video, you're about halfway through, you realize that this is funny, you like it, whatever, and you haven't clicked the like button. The video ends, goes on to the next video, and you haven't liked it. That's why I always say like it at the beginning, because you can always unlike it. There's no there's no shade if you decide I don't like this video. I watched it and I don't like it. That's better than missing an opportunity to give a like, because these are important for content creators. It is very, very important. There's another benefit. This is a secondary benefit, but it's a benefit. When you like more videos, you let Instagram know, you let YouTube know what kind of content you want to see, which leads me into my second point. If you don't like what you're seeing, take some time and find the things that you do like them and leave a comment. Or you could just watch the whole video. Obviously, on YouTube, that's going to be longer, but go and seek out the content that you like it, leave a comment, or watch the whole thing, or do all three. I'm not telling you don't. It doesn't have to be either or. This is going to signal to the algorithm of that platform that this is what I like. You are telling them what I like. Now, they've even made it easier for you. You can also just tell them, most platforms have a way to say, I'm not interested in this. I don't want to see this. And you can do that as well. I don't personally need to do that. What I do, I rarely do that. When I want to adjust my algorithm, I intentionally look for things that I want to see, and I spend time on it. Every now and then, if it's Instagram or a short form platform, short form really people think like Reels and TikTok, but I consider Instagram short form as well. But with those kind of platforms, if you keep watching, they'll keep recommending things that are similar. You might have to swipe up once or twice. So I would I would let them go through the recommendation. So like let's say you're looking at a guitar video, a guitar solo, and then the next video is cars, and then you get another guitar solo. Stop and do the same thing. That's an even stronger indication to whatever platform that this is the content that I like. The algorithms, the best way to think about them is they're like drug dealers. They're not going to sell you the drug that you don't want. They're only going to push the stuff that you actually want to you. Because if you don't want it, you're not going to get it. That now the flaw in it is that it can give it to you a little too much. So it's on you. But I'm specifically addressing the issue that people complain about what they're seeing and what the algorithm is showing them. Instagram is taking a huge step, not for everyone, I don't believe, but it's rolling out. Is that you're going to have the option to either take their feed or do chronological, which is only your followers, or even more specific, you can just do your favorites. So these are accounts that you've designated as your favorite accounts to watch, and it will only show you those. I think toggling back and forth between the three is okay. I'm probably going to stick with um, Instagram's. feed because I believe that they know what I want to see. I generally, when I get on Instagram, I see what I want to see. Um, and I think that what people are going to find because of this is that they actually don't want to, they actually want Instagram to do it for them because they're good at it. They know what you want to see. So another thing, this is to me, this is also very simple. Probably maybe the simplest tip I can give is don't leave comments if they're negative. You just don't need to do it. And again, just like how finding things you like signals to Instagram, not Instagram, whatever platform that you like this, spending time responding negatively to a post signals to the platform that you want to engage with things that you disagree with. And so they're going to give you more things that are going to trigger you and cause you to want to leave a comment because that's good for them. You're digging in, you're really getting involved, you know? I find it I don't find the need, I mean, I don't know if I completely eliminated it, but it's very rare that I'm going to go onto someone's page and leave a negative comment. Twitter, I feel like that's what Twitter is. Twitter is just back and forth between people. I think it's unavoidable. If you don't want to have that kind of experience, I suggest you stay away from Twitter. You can have a positive experience on Twitter, and if you do that, but it's Twitter. You have to also monitor who you're following, and also you have to be very mindful. But it works on Twitter as well. I'm just thinking of myself, and I'm being transparent. When I'm on Twitter, I I, I it's partly my fault. It's partly Twitter's fault because Twitter does show you stuff that you're not following because they think, I bet this person will react to this. It's like the old Instagram um, vibe where like they'll wait they'll wait a couple of months and then they'll show you something and they'll say, "Oh, you remember this? You really used to like guitar solos." And you're like, "Ah, I forgot about guitar solos." So avoid leaving negative comments. It's not necessary. I don't think it's ever necessary, personally. I don't think it makes anything better. I mean, if you have if you have a good friendship with somebody and you feel comfortable, you know, n- say, I see what you're saying. I think that you just need to be more thoughtful in your wording. Come in with with the idea that, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, but this is my perspective on it. Because you might not feel like it matters, but that matters. If you come in and say like, this is the stupidest thing I ever seen, the platform is going to say, okay, this is negative versus negative. But if you come in and you're like, hey, oh, I see what you're saying, you made some good points or whatever, this is my perspective, thanks for the conversation. Instagram, Facebook, they won't categorize that as a negative interaction. I think negative comments are just so unnecessary. They don't make anyone's life better. They don't make your life better. You're not making your point. you know it's just shouting. Now on your page, post away. you know it's just because we're not having conversations. I've seen good conversations before, but people generally are being lazy when it comes to having debate. There's no debate. There's just right and wrong, good and bad. And that's another thing that we need to kind of get away from is this concept that is like good and bad, right and wrong. I'm from Florida, lived in Texas, and now I live in New York. I have a wide range of friends. I like to let my friends discuss, but unfortunately, many times it turns into debate. Every now and then, I will see some good conversations happen, and I love that. But most of the time, it dissolves into debate and name calling. That being said, I think that conversation is a necessary thing, especially right now, especially amongst differing opinions and thoughts. I just that's my personal belief. You know, we have to be able to have a better conversation online. Um, Another thing that I think is going to make people have a happier and healthier. And again, this isn't this isn't in talking about like business strategies. Like, so for example, I don't love the idea of niching down, but that's how I want to experience the internet, the social media platforms, the world. I don't want to experience it as a niche, as a thing. I don't want to. I am not just a saxophone player. I'm not just a social media manager. I'm not just a consultant. I am not just a producer or composer. I am a lot of different things. You know, I like to cook. I'm slowly becoming a flying enthusiast, a traveler. I love to travel. I don't like to fly, but I like to travel. I like to be places. You know, I don't, and if I can only talk about one thing, that would suck. Now, that doesn't mean if you pick one thing, it won't be easier for you to grow. It's easier because social media is trying to figure out how this is a contrary concept. People think that the algorithm doesn't want you to win. It wants you to win because when you win, they win. Just like every network that puts out a TV show, they don't want any show to fail because any mega successful hit is good for the network. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air is good for the network. They don't care what the show is. They look at it and they say, this might be good. Let's give it a shot. That's why TikTok blew up so much because TikTok said, we're not even going to look at it. We're going to give it a shot and then we're going to look at the response. Whereas in Instagram, looks at it and gives it partially a shot. Now, there's a built-in flaw because if you have a lot of followers, you're going to get a lot more. You're going to get a lot. I used to think it was based on the percentage. I think that it's percentage and number. So let's say you have a million followers, right? And you only get 2% to actually engage with a post you make. Whereas I have 1,000 followers and I get 10%. Well, the million has more people engage than me, even though my percentage was higher. So they're going to go with the numbers over percentage, right? Because the way that the algorithm works is they show it to a percent and they keep growing it out based on or they show it to a number and then they keep growing it out based on a percentage that you're hitting. This many people are interacting with the post, and as long as it keeps a certain percentage, then they're going to keep pushing it out to more and more. So they'll start with 100, go to 1,000, go to 10,000, go to 100,000, go to a million. Now, because even though the bigger accounts have a less percentage, they're going to get more of a shot because you know they have more people. They're just bringing more to the table even every time they start. So I think that Instagram favors the bigger accounts. I think that they would say they don't, but I believe they do. I know they do. I have a bigger account. I have a smaller account. I'll run the same post and it'll just do better. But we got to get away from those vanity metrics. Um, focusing on likes is not I mean, people talk about it already. Likes just they're not that big of a deal as far as indicating who you if you're good or not. And so is followers as well. It seems like I'm like talking against myself when I say likes are not a big deal. I'm saying that when you like someone's post, that's good for them. That's good for the page. That's you're giving currency. But likes do not determine whether a page, a person, a content creator is good. There are multiple ways that you can determine this. So people focus on likes, they focus on how many followers you have. Focus on the followers. Don't focus on getting followers, focus on the followers you have. I think if more people spent more time focusing on building their community, which is what I'm really preaching, because that's what it's all about. These are not fans. This is a community that you're building. Now it might be a community around what you do, But this is a community. If you look at it like a community versus these are my fans, you're going to have a much better time with social media. And they're going to be more willing to go out there and say, hey, man, you need to check out this. This is dope. I really enjoy this. I think you might enjoy this too. Because that's where growth happens. Sure, you get a video that goes viral and everyone's going crazy, but it might not convert. It's probably not going to convert because they're just like, well, that was cool, but what about the rest of the stuff? But I notice when people are constantly sending me stuff from a certain page, I'll go check that page out. So these are just a couple of things. I'm going to be on this, maybe for the next couple of weeks, just jumping in top, and talking about some things that I think if you change your mindset on this, it'll give you a happier and healthier social media experience because that's what's important. We need it. Social media, Web3, the internet is here and it's going to be a bigger and bigger part of our lives. So we need to figure out how to live happy and healthy in it. So thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone that stopped by. Please sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, remember to stay casual.